Thomas, what do you think of the Euros? Who's going to win?
Well, I feel very confident about England at the minute. I can't see a single team in the tournament beating us over 120 minutes. I think we've been defending well. Our only issues with attacking, but as long as we're not conceding, then it gives us a pretty good chance.
Thomas, it's Germany.
Well, obviously there's the history, and I think the players will step up to the occasion. I think we've got a very mature set of players, even though they're quite young. I don't think Germany haven't impressed me much lately. I mean, they've not lost to North Macedonia only recently, and if you're looking back, we've won our last 2 penalty shootouts, one in the World Cup, one in the Nations League. I think we could do very well against them.
Who's impressed you most, and who do you think is rubbish?
I think Jack Grealish has impressed me a lot, and Bukayo Saka, when he came on, played very well. I don't think Kane's been scoring, but he's been playing a different role to what we've seen him play before. He's been playing a lot deeper. I think this is Gareth Southgate's more defensive mindset, and in the Euros, defensive teams tend to do better. You've seen Greece, Portugal. They've gone on and won it, playing defensively.
Yeah, well, he was a full-back, Gareth Southgate. What do you think of him as a manager?
I think, personally, as a Liverpool fan, I'm used to exciting football, so Gareth Southgate...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Southgate's quite boring to watch, but I think as long as he gets the results, I'll be happy. If he can get us to a final, then who knows? You could go down as a legend.
And you're genuinely confident that England could win?
Yeah, I'm very confident, to be honest. As I said, I can't see a team beating us over 120 minutes. I think we are the best team in the tournament at the minute.
Okay, Harrison's with us as well. We're live on Facebook, by the way, live on YouTube as well. Have you viewed, what do you think of the Euros so far?
Well, I am following England, and of course I want them to go all the way, but they've not impressed me so far at all. They've scored, 2 goals in the tournament.
Who has impressed you? Which team?
Which team has impressed me? I've been impressed by Belgium with Kevin De Bruyne, and they have a young winger called Doku, and he's really good. And Spain as well, in their game they won 5-0. We're playing great football. But yeah, I don't trust Southgate. I think he's got to go. You can't win a tournament with only scoring 2 goals in the group stage. I think that's not it.
And what do you think of Wales' chance?
Wales, I quite like Wales. I'd like to see them go as far as they can. Oh, I'm not Welsh or anything, but just as yeah. I like a good underdog.
Who are you playing for at the moment on the Isle of Man?
Currently, I'm in between. I've played for Castletown for a few years, and then recently I've moved to Colby, where I've played combination games. I think only a handful, only about 4 or 5 towards the back end of the season. But next year I'm wanting to return back to Castletown and hopefully play more there.
And will you be going back to Castletown? Have you been asked back?
I will not ask back. I don't think they don't want me that bad.
And you were telling me you've had both jabs.
Yes, I got a letter through the post, the vaccination letter, during the time that all the vulnerables were being vaccinated and their letters were being sent out, and I thought, this has to be a mistake. I'm like a healthy 17-year-old lad. So I phoned my GP and they say, yeah, you've post-concussion syndromes. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, fair enough. And I think I've had, at Noble, something like 9 registered head injuries. And yeah, so that puts
How's
me
that
as vulnerable.
happened?
A combination of rugby and football, and me being quite... I like to dive into stuff, so I think that's my own fault. And hopefully it doesn't affect me in my later life.
Okay, Aiko's with us as well. Whereabouts do you work at the weekend?
I work at Dreambed in Douglas.
Okay, and do you find, how many nights a week do you do there?
I only work 3 nights a week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
And how does that fit in with your studies?
I mean, I could have more time. I would like to have more time, because I do a lot of band on the side as well. But
A lot of
band.
silver band?
Yeah.
What, for Castletown?
Castletown Silver Band.
What do you play?
I play cornet.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been playing, so I play trumpet and cornet, and I've been playing since I was 8. So.
You enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. I find it a lot of fun.
So why is it important to you to have a job?
My dad's a single parent, and I would like to rely on him less for money. So he does help me out sometimes, because I do struggle with saving money a little bit. But no, I'd like to have more independence.
And what are you doing as far as university is concerned?
I would like to go study law at Edge Hill University.
Okay. And that's a year away now as well.
Yeah, it's
Good.
kind of scary.
And what have you done in the way of exams?
God, stress. I've just been stressed about exams always.
You've done exams this
Yeah,
summertime?
no, I've done, I sat last year, sat 2 exams for my BTEC science, and the rest was graded by teachers.
Okay. Alex, what exams have you done so far?
So far, I've done an AS for geography, and not much else really.
Are you hoping to go to university?
Yes, I am.
What do you want to do?
That's a big question. I'm not really decided. So far, I'm thinking one of the humanities. So I've got some interest in kind of classical history, but I also like geography just as much. It's very difficult.
How was the lockdown for you and any remote schooling you did? Did you cope with that okay?
Yeah, I'd say I managed fairly well. Lockdown for me was just kind of didn't really feel like a lockdown because I spend a lot of my free time just doing the things that I did during lockdown anyway.
Which, such as what?
Reading, maybe just sitting in the garden, talking on social media.
Which social media are you on?
I've changed a few times recently. Now I mostly use just kind of smaller ones like Discord, where you're not really broadcasting to the entire world, just a small community.
Discord.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very friendly, Discord. So are you on Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram or
No.
anything like that?
Not
Okay.
anymore.
So you like social media? And you like social media?
Yeah.
Good. All right. Emily's next to you as well. What social media are you on, Emily?
All of it. Like, literally Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
What does it say when you get that weekly screen time update?
It's not too bad. I'd like to get it down, but it's usually like 4 hours a day. Yeah, I've seen worse. There are people with worse. But I do try and get it down, but some weeks I just get home from school and TikTok's a big problem. I spend hours on TikTok. It's so addictive.
What do you like about it?
I mean, I get a great range of stuff from people spreading awareness about modern social issues to people just being stupid and funny. And I think it's great to go through it all.
Okay. Sophie's with us as well. Which social media are you on, Sophie?
I'm on pretty much everything. I'm on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, not Twitter actually, I don't like Twitter. And TikTok as well, I'm a big fan of TikTok.
And what do you think of the Euros so far?
It's not my favourite. I am following England and I agree with Harrison. Not the best. It is a bit boring to watch. But yeah, and I watched a game the other day, France against Hungary maybe, and it was 1-1. So that was a good game.
Are you hoping to go to university, Sophie?
Yes.
What do you want to do?
I want to be a PE teacher, and at Edge Hill, I think I'm going to go to Edge Hill.
Why a PE teacher?
Sport is literally my life, yeah.
And what's your favourite sport? What do you take part in?
I do netball and hockey, so I don't really have a favourite.
Who do you play for?
I play for Simcox Netball Club and then Backers Hockey Club.
And what position?
For hockey, I play up front striker and then netball centre.
They tell me hockey can get quite physical at times.
Yeah, it can, especially when you play mixed with the men. But yeah, tonight I've got under-18 Island trials, so I'll be doing that tonight.
Jolly good. Alice, you play netball, don't you?
Yeah, I play for Simcox in
Yeah?
Castletown, yeah.
Yeah, fun?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. We train on a Monday and we usually play games on Sunday mornings and yeah, it's good.
And do you work at all?
Yeah, I work in Port Erin Chippy, so I do after schools and on a Saturday.
How many nights?
I do, at the moment, I'm doing Monday nights and then Saturdays, through the daytime. And yeah.
Do you get busy there?
Yeah, really busy, especially in Port Erin days over TT. And yeah, it is generally quite busy. In lockdown, we were really busy.
Okay. How can I put this? How do you get rid of the smell of chips?
My car usually smells like stinks of chips, especially when I just finish work. But yeah, just a lot of hoovering the car and a shower when
Do you
get home.
do you eat many chips?
I'm pretty sick of chips, to be honest. Chicken nuggets is what I eat mostly.
Ailish is with us now on Mannin Line as well. We were talking about politics, we were talking about the Euros, but you wanted to talk about, what were we talking about before? I remember, because you were last time we were on the Mannin Line, weren't you,
Yes,
when we
I
came
was.
down here? We were talking about Donald Trump. Whatever happened to Mr. Trump, by the way?
I mean, he's kind of been banned from social media on most social media platforms, hasn't he? And he's sort of been moving to more sort of the right-wing.
Do you miss Donald Trump?
I did find some of the things he said quite amusing, even if they were bad. But I think it's good that we don't really hear as much about him anymore.
Interesting, because nobody ever talks about what Joe Biden's saying, do they?
No, I mean, sometimes you do hear some things, but often it's to do with his stutter and stuff like that. That's what
His
usually I
stutter?
hear. Yeah. He's got a speech impediment, so sometimes he can find it hard to pronounce some words and that. So sometimes people make fun of him online for that. That's what I see online.
How have the exams been going for you?
I've just done an AS in maths, and I'll find out my grades in August. So it's quite a long wait. It's almost a 3-month wait that I've had to wait to find out my grade. And then once I do find out, it goes on to A-levels next year.
You're off to university, I take it, yeah?
Yes.
Where?
I'm hoping to go to Oxford to do history.
Which college?
Lincoln College.
Okay, and why history?
I find the past so fascinating. I think you can learn so much from the past, and history is so circular. And often if you look at past events, so if you look at the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution was inspired by the French Revolution, and the Zimbabwe Revolution was inspired by the Russian one. So it's just think everything's so interconnected, and I think you can learn a lot about modern society by looking at the past.
How do you keep up to date with what's happening in news and current affairs?
Usually I just do it on the BBC News app or on social media.
And do you think the fact that newspapers are on the way out, magazines are virtually gone, long-form journalism as a whole is kind of a dying trade. Mm-hmm. What do you reflect on that for the future? I mean, obviously people need to know what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's just moving more online. There's lots of different news apps that people can have, and a lot of different broadcasting services. So I think perhaps maybe in school it should be sort of so like you can, if you want to know about what's going on in the world, you can look at BBC News or The Guardian or The Independent on different news sources. And for Manx use, and Manx Radio and 3FM, so the two main
Do you
ones.
work, by the way?
Yes, I'm a lifeguard at the Southern Swimming Pool.
Oh, yes, that's what we were talking about, the
Yes.
Southern Swimming Pool. Now, obviously, Ballacameen Swimming Pool is out of action. This isn't a school swimming pool, is it?
No,
Is it?
no, it's not a school.
But it is used by certain members of the school.
Yes, PE classes have it, and like mornings to do swimming lessons.
Okay, we were talking to Mr. Turnbull last week at King William's College, swimmer and what have you.
Yeah.
Do you swim competitively yourself?
No, I don't really like competitive swimming. I do enjoy swimming, but not competitively. If I'm doing a competitive sport, I do it in badminton because I like having a doubles, and I don't like doing stuff by yourself in competitive sports.
More a team player?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Where do you play badminton?
Russian hot shots at school. It's after schools on Thursdays.
Hal Sainsbury's with us as well. We're going to talk about who do you think is going to win the Euros, Hal?
Well, I want Belgium to because that's where I've got my sweepstake. But
How much was the sweep? How much was
everyone put a fiver in.
a fiver?
Yeah, a fiver.
We only put £1 in at Manx Radio.
And when it gets 30,
I
up
got
gets a
Austria. You got Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah, Belgium are performing very well, aren't they?
Yeah, but I can see it going. I don't know why, but I reckon Italy have got a good chance. That's who I think will win it, but I'd prefer Belgium to win.
And in terms of players, which players have impressed you in the Euros?
I thought Spinazzola was good for Italy, the fullback. Dumfries for the Netherlands, he's been good. And Lukaku is probably one of the
Do you
best
think it's
strikers.
good to see crowds back in matches?
Yeah, it's so much better because it makes every bit of the football better. Because like the commentators are more enjoying it and they're more into it.
And we were I think we talked maybe last time about the Premier League with no fans whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's been weird, hasn't it?
Yeah, Martin Tyler just sounds so unenthusiastic. He sounds so bored. Like when they score, it's just not the same.
All right, we're live at Castle Rushen High School today, and lots of things to talk about. I was going to talk about the elms, the elm tunnel that there's been a lot of controversy about. Emily, you're familiar with that elm tunnel at St Mark's, and the fact that maybe you're going to not, cut some of it down.
Well, yeah, I often drive through St Mark's, especially with all the traffic lights going to Douglas, and I think it's one of the prettiest roads on Ireland, hands down, especially if like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and closer to winter as well, when the sun's coming down through the trees. And seeing as it's one of the last elm arch things in Europe, I think it's a really selfish idea to chop it down, especially considering like all this action that's going on with climate change. To remove a whole row of trees is just, I just don't think it's a very
Well, they'll
clever
say they've
idea.
gone through all the protocols, and they've filled out all the forms properly as well. And the farmer does need access to the field. What do you think about that?
Well, I can understand, obviously, especially society around us is obviously trying to build up, and obviously an access is so important. But to ruin such a gorgeous road purely so you can have access, I feel maybe, I don't know, I'd even from the farmer's perspective, I think I'd look for another way to get in, because it's just ruined so much, especially for drivers. Because not everywhere, obviously the island's so beautiful and you've got so many unique roads. I think to ruin one of them, it's just it has such a big impact on where you drive and how you drive.
Anybody else on the elms? Anybody want to pass comment on? No. Okay. Well, was that you?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I'd just like to say that I agree. It's such a beautiful road, and I feel like, again, from the farmer's perspective, there must be just another way to access things. It's such a shame that one of the most beautiful places on the Isle of Man should be destroyed when there could be an alternative.
We've destroyed beautiful places before, though, haven't we? I mean, they say it's the name of progress. It has got to happen.
Yeah.
He wants it to happen. Do you think the fact that everybody thinks it's beautiful is enough to keep it?
I do, because if we keep destroying these beautiful places on the Isle of Man, there's not going to be much left to look at. Because I do think the Isle of Man has one of the best landscapes that I've seen. I've been to Iceland as well. It's beautiful. It's just like the Isle of Man in many ways. So I feel like the Isle of Man should preserve these landscapes whilst they're still here.
Okay, Emily, your folks have got the Sound Cafe, haven't they? And Braddock Glen as well. Do you work there?
Yeah, I work very often, both of them, to and from. It helps that I can drive.
So
But
you're in hospitality?
I'm in hospitality. I'm probably going to stay in hospitality. It's like a family trade. It's natural. I've been doing it since I was 13.
So I take it you're good with people?
Some days I am.
Remember, the public is always right. Customers never wrong.
It's obviously it's such a beautiful location, both of them. You've got fantastic views, but I genuinely really enjoy it. Just spending my time talking to people.
Do you serve behind the counter, or do you cook, or what do you do?
Well, I'm mainly behind the counter, so I do till. I bring stuff over. I can make coffees, cakes. It's a really enjoyable job.
Okay, and Braddock Glen, is that going well?
Yeah, I feel like it can't beat the Sound. I much prefer working at the Sound, but it's got its own thing. The interior design there is brilliant, and the people that come in are always really lovely. It's got a great group of people.
Okay, we're live at Castle Rushen High School today with the students in Year 12. Back in a moment.